Silence often feels like a goodbye. That sudden pause in conversation, the unread message, the space that used to be filled with her presence. It all feels like something's ended. Your mind rushes in to fill the quiet. Did I mess up? Did she stop caring? But here's the truth most people never realize. Silence isn't the end. It's the reset. It's the moment the noise fades so you can finally hear what's real. When two people stop talking, something powerful starts happening beneath the surface. One begins to overthink, and the other begins to understand. The one who stays grounded in that stillness, that's the one who truly holds control. Modern relationships are built on noise, endless notifications, constant replies, and the illusion that attention equals connection. But silence cuts through that illusion like a blade. It's uncomfortable because it's honest. It doesn't flatter your ego. It challenges it. Most people mistake it for indifference, when in reality it's clarity showing up in disguise. That's where Stoic wisdom enters, the art of emotional restraint and mental control. As Marcus Aurelius once said, if it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Silence then becomes both right and true, an act of integrity, not avoidance. When communication stops, psychology begins to speak. Your ego wants to chase, to fix, to fill the void, but your inner calm, the quiet part of you that doesn't panic, whispers, wait, breathe, observe. The ego feeds on noise. Peace grows in silence. Every time you choose patience over impulse, you build a kind of strength most people never find. So when that silence arrives, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it. Let it teach you what chaos never could, because silence isn't your enemy. It's your mirror. And in the next part, we'll enter the battlefield where your biggest fight begins. Ego versus peace, reaction versus control. When the talking stops, the loudest sound left is your own mind. One part screams, text her, check her story. Fix it before it's too late. That's your ego, restless, anxious, and terrified of losing control. The other part, quieter but wiser, whispers, wait, breathe, let it unfold. That's your peace. And this is the invisible battlefield, the war that begins the moment silence does. Most people lose right here. They mistake stillness for weakness. They chase closure instead of cultivating clarity. They think breaking the silence will ease the pain, but all it does is feed the noise. Silence isn't passive, it's a decision. It's saying, if it's meant for me, it'll flow toward me. Not because I chased it, but because it was meant to stay. The ego can't stand that idea, because the ego survives through reaction. It feeds on attention, on the illusion of control. Every time you respond to its fear, you give it strength. But peace? Peace grows only when you stop feeding what drains you. Each time you resist the urge to reach out, you're not losing someone. You're gaining discipline. You're proving that you can sit in uncertainty without letting it break you. That's emotional power. The Stoics taught that no event can disturb your mind unless you grant it permission. So when your thoughts spiral with questions like, what if she's gone? What if I was the problem? Pause. You're not fighting her silence. You're fighting your own fear of being alone with yourself. The moment you master that impulse, something shifts. You stop being the chaser and become the observer. Silence stops being punishment and becomes perspective. It no longer feels like rejection, it feels like revelation. Because while it makes the other person reflect on what they've lost, it makes you rediscover what you've always had, your composure, your value, your peace. In the next part, we'll go deeper into this truth. How silence doesn't just quiet the noise between two people, but exposes everything that was never real to begin with. Silence has a way of revealing what noise once hid. The moment you stop reaching out, when your energy no longer fuels the connection, truth begins to surface. If someone's intentions were real, your absence becomes a mirror. They'll see themselves in it and realize what they've lost. But if their interest was only built on convenience or ego, they'll move on without hesitation. That's the cruel beauty of silence. It doesn't chase, it exposes. You don't need confrontation or long explanations. The distance itself does the talking. People reveal who they truly are when they no longer have access to your time, your kindness, or your attention. Stoicism calls this detachment, not coldness, not apathy, but wisdom. It's the understanding that you don't control how others act. You only control what you allow. Silence isn't a game, it's protection. It shields your energy from those who feed off your reactions. Think of it as holding up a mirror. It doesn't judge, it simply reflects. When you stop speaking, people's responses, or their absence, tell you everything you need to know. Those who value you will lean closer. Those who used you will fade quietly into the background. And in both cases, you win, because now you see clearly. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always own the option of having no opinion." That's not indifference, it's strength. It's the calm that comes from refusing to get pulled into emotional chaos. When you stop giving explanations, you stop giving energy to confusion. Silence works on your behalf, quietly exposing what's real and dissolving what's not. It's ruthless in its honesty, but merciful in its purpose. It frees you from illusions. In the next part, we'll explore what happens when you stop using silence as a reaction to others and start using it as a tool for transformation. This is where you stop testing people and start rebuilding yourself from the inside out. Once you stop treating silence as a reaction to others and start embracing it as a space for yourself, everything changes. What once felt like emptiness becomes clarity. What once felt like abandonment becomes opportunity. Silence stops being a punishment and becomes a sanctuary. Most people panic the moment communication fades. They rush to fill the void with distractions, new conversations, or anything that keeps them from sitting alone with their own thoughts. But those who understand the power of silence do the opposite. They go inward. Not to escape the world, but to rebuild, to sharpen, to rise. This is where you rediscover who you are without validation, without constant updates, without someone else's attention shaping your mood. In the quiet, you remember your own strength. You start moving your body, not to impress anyone, but to feel alive again. You learn not for praise, but for growth. You work in silence, not to prove anything, but because you know that consistent effort speaks louder than words ever could. This is where self-respect begins, not in being chosen by others, but in choosing yourself. In refusing to beg for what should flow naturally. In refusing to break your own peace just to hold on to someone who wouldn't fight for you. Every small act of discipline becomes a declaration. I am enough, with or without anyone's attention. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you stop needing what's outside your control and people's affection. Approval and attention are the first things you must release. When you shift your focus inward toward what you can shape, your mindset, your habits, your body, your character, you regain your center. You stop chasing peace, and you start building it. Ironically, that's when everything shifts. People notice the change. Your silence no longer carries sadness. It carries power. It radiates calm. It speaks to a confidence that doesn't rely on being chosen, because you've already chosen yourself. And that quiet self-assurance, that's a kind of strength the world can't ignore. In the final part, we'll uncover the ultimate Stoic truth about silence, how mastering it elevates your relationships, your mindset, and your entire sense of power. This is where silence stops being a tool and becomes your identity. Mastering silence isn't about avoiding words. It's about transcending the need for them. Most people fear silence because they confuse it with emptiness. But for the Stoic mind, silence isn't empty at all. It's full of understanding, balance, and power. It's the space where emotion softens, wisdom sharpens, and peace finally has room to breathe. When you learn to sit with quiet, you stop being ruled by impulse. You no longer need to respond to every delay, defend every action, or chase every unanswered message. You begin to observe life instead of reacting to it. That's where true control begins, not in changing the world, but in mastering how you respond to it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than within his own soul." That's not just philosophy, it's instruction. Your mind is your fortress, the one place no rejection, no absence, no chaos can touch. When you find peace there, the noise of the world can't reach you anymore. From that stillness, something powerful happens. You stop chasing closure and start creating calm. You stop using silence as a weapon and start wielding it as protection. You realize peace doesn't come from getting answers, but from no longer needing them. That's real strength. When your calm can't be disturbed by what's outside of you. The one who can remain centered when everything else goes quiet has already won. Not the argument, not the relationship, but himself. Because mastery isn't about control. It's about surrendering to what you can't control and still staying grounded. So the next time communication fades, don't rush to fill the void. Let silence speak. Let it reveal what's real, what's gone, and what was never meant to stay. And when it's all said and done, you'll notice something profound. Silence doesn't take from you. It gives you back your power. If this message speaks to you, remember, the strongest people aren't the loudest, they're the calmest. And in Motivazione Stoica, we live by that truth. Because in a world that shouts, the one who remains silent rules himself.